everyone, welcome back to Cooking with Mother Goose, Taste the World. Today I'm super excited to bring you to Spain where we live. We are going to make this gorgeous salt and vinegar steak. So that means a trip to my favorite butcher in Guadalmina. Take the recipe with us and go. Come on. Welcome back to Cooking with Mother Goose. Today, I'm bringing you to Spain, where I live. I brought you to my local butcher in Guadalmina. Let's go inside and talk to Rubén. Hola Rubén,
Hola, ¿qué tal?
Buenas tardes.
Hola, ¿cómo estamos?
Muy bien, mira, vamos a cocinar juntos con los niños una receta hoy y necesito un poco de carne.
¿Qué carne necesita?
No sé cómo se dice en español, pero ese es un Tbone. No sé.
Sí, se llama igual, Tbone.
Tbone, perfecto. Y también, mientras está cocinando, algo para picar, como
Un poquito de queso manchego, un poquito de jamón ibérico y un vinito blanco.
Ah, bueno, ya tú sabes siempre. Muchas gracias. Wow.
Super premium.
Y un hueso
Para ti también, ¿verdad? ¡Ay, mira!
Me gusta. La masa. Alright, no estamos.
Bye bye.
Come on, Wookie, let's go. Okay, we're back from Rubén's and we have this gorgeous T-bone steak right here. It's almost a kilo. So, it's super easy marinade, y'all. It is local balsamic vinegar. We always use the purest ingredients right around here because the country shines for itself. We don't need all kinds of fancy sauces. So just olive oil, balsamic vinegar, and then some rosemary, fresh from your garden, or if you don't have it, dried rosemary. We're gonna cut this meat open, put it in our baggie, mix our marinade together, and pop it in the fridge. All right? Okay, so our steak has been marinating in our gorgeous mixture here, and it's time to cook it. So we're gonna start it in the skillet and finish it in the oven. So even though we have 300 days of sunshine where I live right here in the Costa del Sol, I don't expect that you have that at home. And I don't always feel like messing with the barbecue. So we're gonna get the cast iron skillet out and get started. It's really important that you start with a nice hot skillet, okay? Because we wanna sear the outside of that steak so we keep the juices in before we transfer it over to the oven. Now if you have a cast iron skillet at home, you know that this handle gets hot. So you need to have a dish towel ready. And we've got this nice and warm. This is just a dry pan. Let's get our meat. Remember, when you're handling raw meat, you are never gonna reuse any of the juices that are in your marinade, okay? So let's just go straight to the garbage. That's why I always put my meat. Oh my gosh. Oh, this smells good. Ready? So, you might have noticed the kids aren't here yet. That's because when you've got a hot sizzling pan, it is time to step away and let mom handle it, or whoever's cooking in your home. We're gonna give this meat about 3 to 4 minutes on one side, flip it before we transfer it into the oven. So while this is getting its sear on, we're gonna pop over and start prepping our next recipe for the flavor of Spain, the Romesco Salsa. So it's busy weeknight here. We're gonna do a little more prep for our Romesco Salsa. We're gonna just roast some asparagus, and this salsa is really the star of the show. Beautiful color and flavor, fresh tomato, fresh bell pepper, and some mixed nuts. It's kind of like a gazpacho, but instead of being pureed into a soup, we're making this into a kind of a chunky salsa. We can pour it over vegetables in this case, but it's also great on fish and chicken. So here's how we're gonna do it. We're gonna pop these in the oven with a few of their friends and get them a good char. We've had this on high heat for like 10 to 15 minutes. You can see all that blistering on the skin. Oh, this is hot. Let me set it down. So We're gonna cover this for about a couple of minutes so all that steam collects. It's gonna make our skins really easy to peel off. Then we're gonna break up these veggies, put them in the food processor with their friends, the vinegar, the sherry vinegar, the nuts, and cilantro, and then that is that. All right, it's time to flip the steak. This is why you need such a nice, oh my gosh, look at this. Big, fat, juicy piece of meat, because I can touch it. Oh yeah. Woo! Gotta look at that baby. So we're gonna give this another 4 or 5 minutes, and then while that's cooking on the bottom, I wanna show you the next step. So this is called salt and vinegar steak. It was great balsamic vinegar glaze, but it also has a salt and pepper crust. So this is your typical rock salt, and this is your balsamic vinegar salt. So you can see the difference in the color here. Super white, and this one is more, well, wine colored. So we're gonna use this today to enhance the flavor of our marinade. So I've just emptied my regular salt milk. Pour this one inside. I just wanted you to see the difference in the color. It's really easy to make, and it's not necessary. It's just like a flavor enhancer. So you just take your coarse grained salt, pour some balsamic in it, pop it in the oven on a super low temperature for, I don't know, 20 minutes until you remember it's in there. Turn it off, let it dry out, and then you just keep it, and it keeps for quite some time. So we're just gonna salt this. Yeah, with our balsamic salt. I'm gonna take our pepper, do the same. The kids love this. We're back here with our veg. These have had a chance to cool off a little bit. We're just gonna transfer these into our bowl and slip the skins off. Just thinking of it as undressing your vegetables. Time to transfer our steak into the oven. Finish cooking. Axel, please, watch out. Hot, hot, hot. Keep backing up. Perfect. Now, depending on how well done you like your steak, this process could be anywhere from a couple minutes to up to 20. So we're just gonna set it for us at 10 minutes, and then we're gonna check our steak temperature, okay? All right, so we just need to roast this asparagus. Perfect time to do it as well. That steak's in there, why not? Just give it a little sprinkle of olive oil. Then I'm gonna stick it in the oven in the bottom. About 10 minutes in that also. So, all we have to do now is blend up our sauce and then arrange our presentation, which is the fun part. The kids will help. Perfect. All right, so here we have our ingredients for the romesco. And we're just adding, those are the tomatoes, roasted tomatoes, the roasted bell pepper, skinned garlic, okay? And then, remember when Rexy and Sienna busted up those nuts for me? We just need a couple of handfuls of nuts, okay? Adding those. Now it's coming into early summer here, so our fruit's already pretty sweet. I'm just gonna add in some vinegar. We're gonna blitz this up and taste it and see if we wanna add more. Now finally, we have one other ingredient in this besides of course salt and pepper, and that's cilantro. Is that the leaves and the stems both have flavor. So unlike parsley, you can use the whole thing. Rexy, I know. Yep. Just tear them into bits and put them in, okay? Yeah, actually, when you take it out, maybe it's easier to do it. There you go. You can go straight in without splashing it on you or myself. So next time we have guests or we want to have fish later this week, kind of the longer it sits in its own juices, the better it tastes. All right. Great. Go. Oh, perfect. Take it off. So, you want this to be really finely and more soupy, like a nutty gazpacho. Then you blend it up till it's really smooth. Good seal. Oh my gosh, Mother Goose needs to work out. So sometimes this happens when they're not, when the tomatoes aren't super sweet. So you just add a little pinch of sugar. Personally, I don't think it needs any sugar, but this might make it a little more palatable. I also love pickled things, and vinegary foods, so my palate is a little intense sometimes for the kids. But a tablespoon or so of sugar is definitely not going to take away all the benefits of these great veg. And there's our timer. So you can see it took about 10 minutes to make this sauce, about 10 minutes to finish off the steak. So we started cooking about half an hour ago, y'all. So here's dinner in 30 minutes. Let's get it out and let's get it presented. Oh yeah. That's gonna be such a good dinner. It's a monster. Set it here. Before we cut into this steak, we're gonna give it about 10 minutes to rest in its own juices to kind of finish kind of some interior cooking without overcooking it, and bright and green. I thought it would be really fun to show y'all kind of how the meal flow goes here in Andalusia. And so normally you might start, because we're gonna, I got kids, so we eat earlier than everybody else, but we would start with some olives and some nuts and cheese, and maybe some pate. This pate came from Rubén over at Guadalmina Butcher. It's just a typical, really rich black pepper crusted, blueberry and black pepper crusted pate. And you kind of work your way through the mains, our steak, our asparagus, salsa romesco, and then onto some fresh fruit for dessert. And this whole meal would not be complete without some local wine. And I just thought we could roll out a few, because normally when we have friends over, right? So this is like a super Spanish treat. It's a special breed of pig, and they eat a very specialized diet, I think, of hazelnuts, if I'm not mistaken. And so their meat is really got a distinct flavor, different from the Italian prosciutto. Oh, I know, baby. And it can be quite expensive, but they sell it in your local supermarket at all the restaurants. So you gotta have some. We gotta have some on our board. Oh, well, you can have a little taste. A little taste. No, you're good dog. That's it for you.
Asparagus.
Asparagus.
I love asparagus. Oh. So, this is how we do in Spain. So you are very, very, very welcome to come cook with Mother Goose at our house when you taste the world and maybe even travel to southern Spain. See you at the table.
Oh, look at that.
Viva España!
And my bread.
Thank you, Mommy.
Eating in the
Hi.
Cheers.